All right, let's talk about direct communication. And when I say direct communication, I'm kind of talking about an email newsletter. So it's somebody who is a fan or a reader and they've signed up for an email newsletter. This is not something that I've ever been good at doing. I did try for a while. I had built up an email list and I just was never good at executing the newsletter part of it. It's probably something that I need to go back and revisit. But when you're managing about 6 social media platforms and a website and a blog and a vlog, it gets a little bit hectic. At some point, I do need to write material. So sometimes something has to be on the chopping block. I do know authors that maintain an email list and they do a newsletter. It is an effective means of communication with your readers, especially repeat readers. In the fact that, if you have somebody that liked a book and they joined your email newsletter, and then you have, let's say, the second in that trilogy coming out, or maybe even something completely new, sending an email out to let them know that something new is available could lead to a potential sale. And it's probably more likely, since they've bought something before, that they would buy something again. So it is a more direct, it is more of a personalization in the email, and it makes sure that you are maintaining engagement with people who have read your book or interested in the past, and hopefully bringing sales into the future. So one thing that you're going to want to make sure that you have to build a compelling newsletter, you're going to have a really strong subject line so that it doesn't get lost in any of the spam out there, and that reader actually opens that email to look at it and read it. Again, we're talking about engaging content. It needs to be valuable. It needs to be interesting. It keeps your readers interested in reading that newsletter every time that it comes in. You do have to do a consistent schedule. I have noticed that some authors struggle with keeping it consistent. If you're going to do it, I wouldn't recommend weekly or even bi-weekly unless you're really ambitious. Something monthly, perhaps. I think if I were to start doing a newsletter now, I would probably start doing it quarterly. I don't know. I could probably come up with the content, but just having the time to do it would be a challenge. Making sure that you have some sort of a professional design, make sure that it's clean and it's digitally appealing, and it reflects the consistency of your brand. So content ideas that a lot of authors do, you can do exclusive updates, highlighting behind the scenes, insight into your writing process, upcoming projects, personal milestones that you've reached. I do on social media work in progresses, how close I am to finishing a book, where I am in the process. But you can do that in your newsletter as well. You can do sneak peeks and offer exclusives. So you can do snippets from your work or include a free chapter, cover reveals, release dates, all of that. Personal stories, if you have something going on in your life that you want to share with your readers to develop that deeper personal connection. You can include writing tips. A lot of times, especially whenever I do in-person events, people want to talk about their writing, or they've been thinking about writing. And so a lot of readers are really, aspiring authors at heart. And so including some of those writing tips could be helpful. Other book recommendations. Let them know what you're reading. Let them know what you've liked in the past, and what you would recommend. So say they like this book, then what do you think that, what they like this book of yours, so what other books do you think are out there that might interest them? And go ahead and plug those. reader involvement. So you could do surveys. So you could ask them, maybe you have a couple different titles in mind, and you can ask your newsletter, which title do you like the best? Or which book cover do you like the best? And do a vote on it type of thing. You can offer virtual events. You can offer workshops. You can advertise appearances. And you can also have special offers. So if you're doing a pre-release, they can go out and order the pre-release. Maybe you have coupon codes that you can offer to, if they bought in the past, maybe they get a little discount or some kind of a promotion, or even a giveaway. I do giveaways on social media. If you like, share, and follow, get some free Kindle ebooks or free Audible books. You can use those things. I mean, those are your intellectual property that you can use. So just the personalization and the value in the newsletter. There are legal considerations when you're doing an email newsletter. There are opt-in and opt-out laws, and usually those are governed by individual states. I do know that there is the CAN-SPAM Act, which has some information on opt-in and opt-out, but I live in the state of Illinois, and I know Illinois is an opt-in state, which means that for you to market to people, they have to sign up for it. So if you're collecting emails, letting them know that you are sending an email to them for a newsletter, and that by them providing the email to you, they are signing up for marketing opportunities for you. And as part of your due diligence, you have to maintain a record. So I used to have like little slips that people would fill out. I had to keep all of those slips. So if somebody would say, I never authorized you to send me this email, I can say I have this here. And it clearly disclosed that I could use this email for marketing purposes. But you have to, by law, also give them an opportunity to opt out. So if they said, well, I don't want these emails anymore, you have to remove them from the list. And you have to evidence that you removed them from the list. So if you're going to do an email newsletter, please make sure that you adhere to those rules. And also, you may want to include a privacy policy on your website that includes how you share the information that you receive from your readers. So if somebody gives you their email address for your marketing purposes, what are you doing with that? Is that just for you, or are you going to sell that information to somebody else? Companies have to do this. You should do it too, because it is a business after all. So you should follow the business rules and let somebody know, I will never share any of their information with anybody else, but you need to communicate that. And so you might want to look at some other websites and how they do their privacy policies, and just let people know that either you are sharing their information or you're not sharing their information. And making sure that you're keeping accurate records of that as well. Now, ways to build your list. Like I said, sign up forms. A lot of people will have a book. Like if they're doing in-person events, sign up for my newsletter. Like I said, I had like little slips of paper. It was an enter to win a book, but you have to give me your email address and know that you're going to be receiving a newsletter from me. So offering them some kind of incentive to give you that information, but then also making them aware of what they're going to be receiving by providing that information is important. So keep all those things in mind. Again, like I said, this is a thing that I have done, but I've not done effectively. I do know people that do them effectively, but it is a method of communication that a lot of authors use.